Greetings and God bless. So, I recommend listening to Dr. Artis's latest. So, he found that cone and sneak venom are used, and this is commonly understood. Like venom is a product that's used in cosmetics and other household uh, goods kind of things, and you can look it up at what other medical things that it is located in. And it just got to be a little um, cagey, but so this explains why people were getting so many positive PCR tests. So the PCR tests were activated. They were like there was only supposed to be run 25 cycles, and I think they were run 47 cycles. And um, PCR test is looking at just a little bit at the end. It's not a slide. It's not something that's looked under through a microscope. It's some type of computer generated data. And if I remember correctly, Dominion is the company that um, keeps. So annoying. People are using loud devices. Anyways, um, Dominion I think is the database for the PCR tests. So uh, so the fact that snake venom, cone venom is used prolifically in various products, medical included, as well as I just learned pesticides, Roundup. So no wonder there were so many positive PCR tests. And originally, PCR tests were developed to determine the presence of venom. So PCR tests are a venom test. So those positive tests just indicated people were exposed to some type of toxin derived or that is like a look-alike. So venom is a big uh, industry, and it's grown synthetically. So um, while they're not necessarily harvesting snakes and stuff like that, they're growing it. I think I can't remember what medium they grow it in, but just like many things, like citric acid is grown on it's black mold grown on GMO corn. So even though you think, oh, it's just lemon juice, no. So, anyways, this Venom product, it's very popular in medicine and in agriculture and whatnot. So I just wanted to put that out there that we thought these PCR tests were faulty, and it was faulty because there wasn't a bacterial or a viral issue necessarily. It was a toxic issue. And also that during the lockdowns, there was a 5G rollout, and those frequencies are very powerful. And then people were depriving themselves of oxygen. And when you deprive yourself of oxygen, you have more toxins in your body. You're not oxygenating. And then when you are suffocating yourself, when you're obstructing your one of your main avenues of detox, because you exhale, you breathe 2,500,000 times a day. So when people are keeping this moist, spittle covered, sneezed on fabric that they're breathing in and out for 24 hours a day, you're just exposing yourself to toxins, to your own body's waste. Like when I see people, like it's June 2023 now, and I still see people alone walking on the sidewalk, nobody's around, but they're wearing a mask. I'm like, they are like, these people are very like just a mold staph infection kind of thing walking. It just, these are very, I think these are very dirty, like just biologically, because they're not allowing their waste to be expelled for that period of time, 9 to 5, if that's when they're just wearing their masks, or maybe they're wearing their masks all the time still, June 2023. So anyway, so that and you know the prize winning creator of the PCR test, Kelly Mullis, was it he won the Nobel or he won some sort of prize, maybe it's the Nobel. um, and of course he he was dead. And even though he was a younger guy, he wasn't like 80, 90, 100 years old. He was like what, 50s, 60s. So um, but he said those tests were not supposed, even at during the AIDS epidemic. He was saying how Fauci was mistaken because those, like this type of test, the PCR, was not supposed to detect an infection. It was some other kind of like DNA analysis or whatever. And like that's what boggles my mind about medicine right now, because medicine does not seem to bother. Like, let's get a swab, let's put it on a little slide, and let's look at it under a microscope. Nobody's doing that anymore. Doctors can't be bothered with taking that 5 minutes. Insurance companies don't want people doing that kind of thing. Like, you have to pay $300 to have somebody do this kind of thing. And instead, they just want to do differential diagnosis, just checklists. And, doctors and medicine and insurance companies could care less about people's health and well being. And I think this is part of the mental illness epidemic, the disability epidemic that we have, addiction, because medicine and insurance companies do not care about the health and well-being of the patient. They are just about, digits and numbers and profits and whatnot. And the strange thing is that they, like, everybody would still profit if for diagnoses for things like Lyme disease and their co-infections and whatnot, mold exposure, EMF exposure, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia. Like, these diagnoses are real, valid, and they have their origins in toxic exposure and chronic stress and so forth, mold exposure and whatnot. But medicine, the insurance industry, FDA, CDC, like, none of these trusted agents of the public good have the in, like, they don't have our interests in mind. And instead, what the psyop of the media is like, oh, those bad homeless people, oh, those bad mentally ill drug addicts, like, they drive me crazy. I'm walking on the sidewalk or I'm taking public transportation, and I'm like, oh my, these really whacked out people, like, I don't want to hang out with them. But I do think that this is engineered, because it is not an impossible thing to have sane people. It is not impossible for, uh, like, there to be a non-toxic community, a city where people get healthier. When I've had certain improvements in my life, my vision will improve. Like, I've gone to the optometrist, and they're like, this is weird. Like, are you sure that this isn't the right vision? I'm like, oh, no, my vision's this one. And then I read later, oh, my vision improved by 25 points or 50 points, 75 points. Well, I wasn't even trying. I was just, exercising or, having a better quality of life or something like that. So the body can